Our topic for tonight is God, our most intimate friend. And I think no one doubts about it, that God is our most intimate friend. But for each of us, it means something different, because we have different experience of God. We have different relationships with Him. But everything in our lives is about love. To love and to be loved. I would say that this is our only longing. And I think we know that the reality is like this. The less love we have in our everyday life, the more we speak about it. In movies, in songs, even if, for example, one wants to sell a faucet, the advertisement has to be connected with the love. You know, there has to be a love implication. So, and when we are reading Saint Faustina's diary, we can say that she is our best teacher, simply our sister, showing us how to live out this truth in our everyday lives. The truth that God is our intimate friend. She wrote, "I look for no happiness beyond my own interior, where God dwells. I rejoice that God dwells within me. Here I abide with Him unendingly. It is here that my greatest intimacy with Him exists. Here I dwell with Him in safety. Here is a place not probed by the human eye. The Blessed Virgin encourages me to commune with God in this way." And often looking at our lives, we can see that there is a hunger in our hearts. As Michael said, waiting. We are waiting, we are hunger. We have hunger for something or for someone, but ultimately we sometimes are not able to name it, what we are hungry for. What is an object of my longing? What is my deepest desire? And very often we are looking for something what is outside of us. We think that having something or someone can satisfy us. And we are doing our best. We are losing our time, energy to get it. And even if we are successful in it, we get what we want, then unfortunately we discover that we are still not satisfied, that it doesn't feed us enough. And Sister Faustina, Saint Faustina, canonized by the Church, means that the way to holiness, her way to holiness was proven by the Church, is proven. Says, "I look for no happiness beyond my own interior, where God dwells. I rejoice that God dwells within me. Here I abide with Him unendingly. It is here that my greatest intimacy with Him exists." What is she saying to us? The one who loves you, the one who can satisfy your hunger, my hunger, the one who is the answer to my every question, is in my heart. Or He wants to dwell in my heart. My heart is his only home, your heart. So we can say that he has a home or he's homeless. And now let us look at what conditions are necessary to make Jesus dwell in my heart. First, as we all know, is the baptism. We know that this sacrament makes our souls the abiding place for the Holy Trinity. The second is being in the state of grace, the purity of soul. Jesus said to Saint Faustina, "My daughter, even though you don't perceive me in the most secret depths of your heart, you still cannot say that I am not there. I only remove from you the awareness of my presence, and that should not be an obstacle to the carrying out of my will. My daughter, know without doubt, and one and for all, that only mortal sin drives me out of a soul, and nothing else." So we know that the state of grace we receive after a good confession, and sometimes, it may happen that this sacrament is not understood well, that sometimes we don't have enough faith to believe how great graces Jesus gives us through this sacrament, that we are being immersed in his blood and water when we receive absolution. And Jesus described it in Sister Faustina's diary in this way: "Tell souls where they are to look for solace, that is, in the tribunal of mercy, the sacrament of reconciliation. There the greatest miracles take place and are incessantly repeated. To avail oneself of this miracle, it is not necessary to go on a great pilgrimage or to carry out some external ceremony. It suffices to come with faith to the feet of my representative and to reveal to him one's misery. And the miracle of divine mercy will be fully demonstrated. Were a soul like a decaying corpse, so that from a human standpoint there would be no hope of restoration and everything would already be lost. It is not so with God. The miracle of divine mercy restores that soul in full." So purity of soul keeps our hearts always ready to receive Jesus, to make him dwell in our hearts unceasingly. The third condition is striving to be silent at heart. We know that very often we are very busy, we have a lot of things to do, a lot of work. Sometimes this is even like God's works. But, and this is like my experience from my life, that sometimes I am so busy that at the end of the day I feel so bad that I had only leftover of time for Jesus. And then I'm looking at myself and I see what is really important for me. And saying that God is on the first place, it sounds like a joke. Looking at my day, from the morning to the evening, how much time really I had for him. So, silent, and Sister Faustina gives us like a very practical advice how to live it out. Very often, that was her like a daily practice. I unite myself with the merciful Jesus. I unite myself with the merciful Jesus dwelling in my soul. And when I was looking at the diary, searching for the quotes I wanted to share with you, I found like a few times the same words. Then the following month, examination of conscience, continuation of the same, to unite myself to the merciful Christ, practice interior silence, that is, strict observance of silence. And the next, examination is still the same, namely union with the merciful Jesus and silence. The moments which are most pleasant to me are those when I converse with the Lord within the center of my being. I try my very best not to leave him alone. He likes to be always with us. And Jesus gives us like the shortest way to holiness, saying, when you reflect upon what I tell you in the depths of your heart, you profit more than if you had read many books. Or if souls would only want to listen to my voice when I am speaking in the depths of their hearts, they would reach the peak of holiness in a short time. And the next thing, meditating on God as our most intimate friend, is to live the present moment of our lives, the present moment, because it's not a secret. Very often we are either in the past or in future. And Faustina had the same experience. It wasn't, like unknown or strange for her. She says, when I look into the future, I am frightened. Only the present moment is precious to me, as the future may never enter my soul at all. It is no longer in my power to change, correct, or add to the past. And so, what the past has embraced, I must entrust to God. O present moment, you belong to me, whole and entire. I desire to use you as best I can, and although I am weak and small, you grant me the grace of your omnipotence. So this is something very important in spiritual life, to live the present moment. God is present in the present moment. The past belongs to His mercy. The future is not ours, may never come. And another quote that Sister Faustina shares with us, her experience. She says, God gives me the grace I need for this moment, not for future, not for the past. All life so dull and monotonous, how many treasures you contain. When I look at everything with the eyes of faith, no 2 hours are alike, and the dullness and monotony disappear. The grace which is given me in this hour will not be repeated in the next. It may be given me again, but it will not be the same grace. Time goes on, never to return again. Whatever is enclosed in it will never change. It seals with a seal for eternity. And another thought about this topic, that God is our most intimate friend, it means that God is the one who cares, who really cares. Love always cares. Because this is love. Love is always, if when I love someone, I am interested in every area of this person's life. Everything is important for me. And, even like simplest things. There is one passage in the Gospel when Jesus is asking Sister Faustina about her retreat. They were talking about very, very important things. Salvation of souls, her way to holiness. But in a certain place, Jesus asked, "My child, how is your retreat going?" I answered, "But Jesus, you know how it is going." "Yes, I know, but I want to hear it from your own lips and from your heart." "Oh, my Master, when you are leading me, everything goes smoothly, and I ask you, Lord, to never leave my side." And Jesus said, "Yes, I will be with you always, if you always remain a little child and fear nothing. I am always your beginning here, so I will also be your end. Do not rely on creatures, even in the smallest things, because this displeases me. I want to be alone in your soul." So this is the relationship of friendship, to care, to love, to care, and to trust. And when I'm thinking about like a strong relationship between people, between God and a person, a human being, then we can see that the strongest foundation of this relationship is trust. That there is no relationship, good, strong relationship, without trust. And when something happened that the people stop trusting each other, we know that this is like a slow end of this relationship. So, and Sister Faustina, we have to say, it wasn't easy even for her to place like complete trust in Jesus. She had to learn it step by step. She kept coming to Jesus, asking him, "Jesus, why this is like this? Why this is like that?" And Jesus, kept answering her like to a little child. And we can see that, he treated her seriously, not like a little girl, that it is like about friendship and sweet relationship between persons who love each other. It was, it was a very serious relationship, serious. And, he kept, "Don't fear nothing, I am always with you. You are my daughter, you are my beloved." But there are also words like this. That Jesus wanted Sister Faustina to paint the image, this image which we have here in front of you. And in a certain place, he said to her, "Know that if you neglect the matter of the painting of the image and the whole work of mercy, you will have to answer for a multitude of souls on the day of judgment." So this is also like the picture of their relationship. They treat each other very seriously. They were working they had the same desires, the same goal, salvation of souls. And the goal is to be united with Jesus, because he is living out his life in my life, in your lives. My life is already written in the Bible, like life of each of us. He is living out his life in our lives. And now, because we are during these beautiful last hours of Advent, I would like to share with you something what I experienced last year during Christmas. And it was kind of, like a wake-up experience, showing me that, my wishes are different than Jesus's ones, that my desires doesn't go along always with his. So it was Christmas. And that time I used to work in a retreat house, and we had many guests for Christmas at home. So I wanted that Christmas to be peaceful, the time when I could rest, pray more. So that was my wishes. And because we had many people at home, we had a lot of work and all the wishes failed. So I was very frustrated, very much. And I said, no, Christmas is not about this. It shouldn't be like this. And, blah, blah, blah. But the evenings, I had 3 evenings. So I had free time every evening during Christmas octave. And then I asked the question, okay, I cannot say I don't have time to pray, because this is the time, I can use it as I wish. Okay, I'm going to pray. So there was nobody in the chapel. I was on my own with Jesus and the beautiful decoration. And okay. So I decided to stay with the Holy Family in this, at the crib, at the manger, to stay with them. I said, okay, I have this hour. I have no, like a program for my prayer. Blessed Mother, just let me stay with you. And I said, okay, I'm not going to count the time. I have time. And I felt I entered into a conversation with the Blessed Mother, with all my frustration, suffering, and what she said to me, with looking at my desires to have jingle bells and stuff like this, she said, but first Christmas didn't look like that, as you would like to have it, as you are, struggling for it. Look at our way to Bethlehem. There was suffering, rejection, tiredness. It wasn't easy, and we didn't accept it smiling. There was pain and tears, but there was no rebellion in our hearts, frustration or anger. We accepted the situation as it was, because we were not able to change it anyhow. But God was working through it and accomplishing His will. And I said, but it looked as if God had abandoned you. And Blessed Mother said, no. It wasn't a comfortable situation for us, but such a thought never arose in my mind. I trusted Him completely. So, and I realized that Christmas is something completely, of course we want to have this time beautiful, and it should be, but I see I should leave a margin for God's work in my life and how He wants to lead me during this time, that He's coming as my Savior, not to entertain me. He is working with and acting with power in the midst of my sin, in the midst of my infidelity, in the midst of my helplessness and sometimes hopelessness. He is working because He's coming as my Savior in the human body. We read in the Bible that He emptied Himself. You know, it's not about having fun. He emptied Himself. And this is the way for me too, to meet Him. And at the end of this meditation, I would like to share with you a poem written by an American Jesuit, Father Robert Daly, which shows in a very vivid way what it means that God took human body and became man. And the title is An Angel's Lament. If I had the knees of a human, I could bend them like the shepherds did, to adore my Lord and God. But all I am is spirit. I have no body. I can know, but cannot feel the pain He bore, the aching cold, the crushing heat, the pain from scourging whips and piercing nails. Never can I or any other angel feel the way a woman can when life is growing in her womb. Never can I feel the way a man can feel the pride and sense the joy of seeing his own child grow in size and grow in love. Oh yes, I could bring those words to Mary. Behold, you will conceive and bear a son, and you will call his name Emmanuel, Savior of his people. But never can I feel what she did feel, him growing in her womb, nursing at her breast. Oh yes, I could sing to simple shepherds, glory be to God on high, and peace on earth to people of good will. But with no body, I can never feel the surging joy that filled their hearts when Mary showed to them the newborn Savior of the world. Yes, I have the wings of an angel, but have no heart that can shake with fear or throb with love. No heart that can leap for joy when long-awaited lover finally is there again to speak the words that only human lips can really speak and human ears can really hear. I love you, I love you, I love you. When Jesus, Son of God, Son of Mary, came to birth in Bethlehem, all we angels knew that everything had changed. Some, like Lucifer, screamed out, I will not serve. But all the rest of us could only wish that we, along with Jesus, could take on flesh, could be like Him, and have a body that was really real. Already there have been billions, but not one single angel that have had a body like Jesus' body, a body that could really see, really hear, really feel. Yes, everything has changed. My God, whom I adore in timeless adoration, did then take on in Nazareth and Bethlehem an earthly habitation and an earthly name. But not a single one of us eternal spirits can ever know in that bodily way that every human being can know what it meant and what it means that Jesus, Son of God, son of Mary, was born that night in Bethlehem.